Good afternoon, people. This is the match reaction show for the Crystal Palace vs Man United game at Selhurst Park, a goalless draw. Yeah, very frustrating game for Man United in the end. Yeah, personally, I thought that if you look at the lineups, I thought it was quite a surprise that Eriksen started again, especially in this fixture where they did lose 4-0 last season. They were overrunning the midfield, so it was quite a big call from Erik ten Hag. And I actually give him a lot of credit for that move because Eriksen had a very good game actually. He was helped in position when Dalot came. He was inverting from fullback position to provide him a bit of support. But yeah, Eriksen was very impressive in the middle of the field, playing the right passes at the right times, kept possession well. And yeah, Palace had a very difficult time of it, trying to get possession from Man United in the first half. It felt like it was just wave after wave, and you thought that the goal was eventually coming. Henderson was probably Palace's best player um, in goal for Palace. I thought he was excellent in the saves, and not only did he save, but he also prevented his saves from going back into the danger area and diverted them out for goal kicks or for corner kicks. And yeah, I thought in terms of Man United, I thought it was one of their best performances of the season so far, despite not being able to get the result, the winning goal in the end. I thought they were very impressive in the first half, the way they won the ball back, the way they kept position, the way they kept it's like carving Palace open. They were creating chance after chance, very unlucky with Garnacho hitting the post, and then Bruno falling up and hitting the post as well. The lick to the free header that on another day would have gone just 1 inch to Henderson's legs, and then it would have been a goal. So they could have easily been 4-0, 5 up at halftime, and nobody would have thought that that would be an exaggeration of the game that you were watching. Palace, they were one good moment in the first half game with some work down the left-hand side when Mitchell got in behind the fullback, cut it back to Eze, and Eze, when he actually perhaps should have taken a touch, he decided to hit it first time and pass it straight into Onana's hands. But yeah, a very impressive first half display from Man United, and you would struggle to see where how Palace would actually come back into the game. But credit to Glasner at halftime. He made some changes. He brought on Lerma in the midfield to provide some legs because they were really struggling to retain position and to win the ball back in the midfield. Well, they took off Mateta, who really wasn't doing much up front. Quite passive, quite lazy, lack of intensity from him. I don't know if he picked up an injury, but he came off, and the more mobile, energetic Ismail Assar came on for him at halftime. That seemed to improve Palace quite a bit in the second half, although Man United were actually quite dominant. They didn't make any changes at halftime, and actually they didn't need to because Palace were hardly troubling them except for the one Eze moment in the first half. So yeah, they came close again. Half and puff. Bruno came very close to the outside of the boot shot after a nice layoff from him from Xerxes. He was actually his hold up play is quite good up front. A bit of a Bobby Firmino-esque player. And yeah, I'm sure once he properly finds his footing in English football, he'll be quite a useful asset to the team. Another actually surprising inclusion in the United lineup was, omission was Rashford not starting after scoring 2 games in a row. But he hasn't been actually in the best form this season. So a lot of people are asking for him to be dropped before this. So I don't see how people can complain with him not starting, because you can't really count a performance against Barnsley as a reason to include him in a game when you were calling for him not to start the whole time. Yeah, and it wasn't a lack of Rashford that United were missing in this game. It was just a bit of luck, a few inches lower, a few inches to the side, and they would have comfortably won this game. Yeah, going into the second half now, towards the last 20 minutes, could see United were actually struggling to create the clear opportunities that they were in the first half. And then Ten Hag made some changes. He brought on Ugarte, he brought on Rashford. Surprisingly, took off Eriksen. I thought was having a good game, but I suppose it's understandable because he doesn't really have the legs to run for 90 minutes. Rashford Ugarte. Those were the main changes that came on. Hoyland came on afterwards for Zirkzee as well. But all of the substitutes that came on really didn't have much an effect on the game, and the game really petered out except for one moment from Onana when he made a brilliant double save from Nketiah's left-footed shot, and then he got up quite brilliantly to stop the rebound from Ismail Assar. Critics, heavy critics like myself, would say that Saw should have gone with his head, and then he would have reached the ball quicker. But instead, he decided to open his body up. But you can take nothing away from the save from Onana. It was absolutely brilliant. A bit reminiscent of the Raya save from midweek, but I think this one was a bit better as it was higher and the ball wasn't played in the middle of the goal, which I think gave Raya the chance to save the ball. And then, there wasn't really too many contentious moments in the game. So Eze had probably the best chance of the game when the ball came back to him late in the game. And instead of playing it to the far side, he opted for the near post first time finish and he put it past the post. Alessandro Martinez had a tackle which some people thought was borderline, red card. I think that is what it was. It was borderline, despite 2 feet showing. He still landed on the ball. Some might say, do you really need to break a person's leg in order to receive the red card? But I think this was just about right in the end. But I think that if the Palace player's foot was caught underneath the studs of Lissandro as he landed and the referee sent him off, I don't think there would have been too many complaints because it was quite a rare challenge in the modern day. But all in all, I think a frustrating draw for Man United. I think they deserve to win this game. I think they would be encouraged by the performance, and if they can top it off with a win next week against Spurs, it will make this performance seem even better. I always think that sometimes results, they gloss over the performances, and the players know themselves when they've been battered up in a game, despite them getting the result. And you can't really carry. It's not that easy to carry a result into the next game, but it's easier to carry a performance. And they will all know that yesterday they should have won that game, and they played really well. So I think that is, if they focus on the performance and carry it on to the next game, then they will improve from there. So on Palace, I think were very disappointing, especially from an attacking point of view. I thought defensively at times they were scrambling all over the place, but they managed to get in their last-ditch tackles. I think they have a trip to Everton next, and then they host Liverpool. So they have a difficult couple of weeks, and if they don't sort out the defensive shape, if they don't take care of the ball a bit better in the midfield, they could find themselves on the end of 2 back-to-back defeats. But I think that Anderson is a big miss for them. Very surprising transfer. And they also miss Olise's creativity and his ball retention when in transition. But that was my thoughts on the game. Let me know what you think. And I will see you next time. Stay tuned.